Hi, this is Rachelle with Scrapcraftastic, and I am going to try something a little new, something I've never done before. And this was inspired by Meg Journals here on YouTube, and she's also on Instagram. I'll leave all of her information below. I have collected some items, junk mail, envelopes, scrapbook paper, book pages, things that I've had laying around or in my scrap stash to make this accordion junk journal. Again, inspired by Meg Journals. So I have a junk mail envelope here and I've trimmed it down. I'm going to make my journal approximately 5 by 7. So I have trimmed down that envelope. Now I am going to glue together 2 pieces of book page just to make them a little sturdier. I didn't want to use anything too light because I want this to hold up. So 2 book pages with a glue stick together. And what you do is basically just keep adding 1 page to the next in an accordion style. So I'm opening the envelope to make sure the window is on the side that I need it to be on. And here I'm going to fold the edge of the book page to make a tab that can attach to the envelope. So I'm attaching that on the right side. And then the next thing that I attach to the book page, I would attach to the left side. So here I'm just trimming down the height of the book page to 7 inches because again, I want my accordion journal to be 5 by 7. So now I'm just adding some glue to that tab or flap and attaching it to one side of the envelope. And then I'm just trimming off where it wasn't quite even. So here I'm adding the next section or the next page. It was an envelope. The flap was a little bigger than I wanted, so I trimmed it down. And so here I have the envelope that I added to the left side of the book page. So we're going to keep going. Here I'm gluing together 2 more book pages. This was so much fun to do. I really enjoyed doing this. I had to force myself to stop because I didn't want it to get too big, but I will be making more of these in the future. And I didn't do any decorating or anything. I just put the pages together, so we will be decorating in the future. So here I'm just checking the size of the page, checking to see what I want to do with that window of the envelope. So I decided to use this piece of digital scrapbook paper and I'm just going to glue that on and then I'll trim it down to the size that it needs to be after it's attached. So I didn't use the book pages yet. I decided to go ahead and use the scrapbook paper instead. So here I'm just tearing off the excess on the top and the bottom. And then I'm going to fold this over to approximately 5 inches wide. That's the beginnings of the accordion. And here I'm just folding over the excess because I can attach the next page to that. So this is where we are so far. And of course, I just like flipping through it. And then if you turn it over, you have pages on the other side as well. So here I'm adding glue to the little tab that we just made. And so instead of a full page, I had this piece of scrapbook paper and I wanted to go in the correct direction. So I'm going to use that piece and a piece of this pink cardstock to make a page. So I'm just trimming down the height. I'm just tearing it with my We Are Memory Keepers tear ruler. and placing to see if I have the right fit. I'm going to add some glue. I glued it to the tab and to the scrapbook paper so that it would be a complete page. And I trimmed off the excess on the bottom. And here I'm trimming off the excess on the sides to make it a 5x7. So here we go. And I'm just flipping through the accordion both directions to see how it looks. Now I'm going to attempt to add an envelope. And for some of this, I do go back and make some changes because it started to get wonky because, like I said, I just got carried away. I was adding everything. So, but I think I fixed it and got it a little straighter. So be careful when you're doing this that everything is aligned up properly and as close to the same size as possible as far as the height and the width. So here I'm using another piece of the scrapbook paper to make that envelope the right size for the to make a full page. And I'm sorry I'm out of frame for some of this. I had changed my camera setup, so I think I have it right now. And I'm just tearing off the excess. Folding over the excess width to make another flap where I can attach another page if I need to. And here we go, finally with the book page that I glued together, and I'm going to glue that onto that flap. So if you are interested in seeing how I decorate these pages, let me know in the comments below. And if you plan on making one of these, also let me know in the comments below. And be sure to tag me on Instagram if you post it, and I will definitely add it to my stories. So here I'm just trimming down the excess. And folding over the extra width for our next page. And also a tip, be careful when you're doing this to make sure you put the pages in the correct direction, the correct orientation, because I did have a little snafu. So yeah, make sure that's the frog outside my window if you hear that noise. Anywho, so this is some packing paper, probably from an Amazon package or some package that we received, and I kept it, and so it's kind of thin, so I'm gluing two pieces together to make it a little more sturdy. And here I'm just going to trim it up with my ruler by tearing, which I have to be kind of careful because the glue is still wet, so it doesn't tear as well as I hoped. But next time I know to let the glue dry, even if it is a glue stick. So I ended up just trimming some of that off with the scissors because it didn't tear properly. And here I'm going to add it on to the tab that we just made. I was just so into just gluing something, just getting rid of some of the scraps and things that I've been holding on to make something with. It was just, I don't know, very satisfying. Yeah, that's the word, satisfying. Trimming off the excess. Got a flap for another page. And here I'm using a envelope, and I'm back on the other side. And I'm adjusting the fold. It was originally folded in half, so I'm adjusting that fold, making sure that it's stuck down properly. I should have stuck that down with the glue side down, but when I realized it, it was too late. So I'll just have to make that page work. So again, this is a little shorter than I want my journal. So I am going to have to add something to the bottom. And this is where I know I was getting carried away because I was making silly mistakes, but I did not make this page go all the way across so that it left a gap at the bottom. You'll see what I mean in a moment. And I'm putting a punch in this because I'm going to make it a pocket. So I'm just folding the end of the envelope over the scrapbook paper. So there'll be a pocket on that part of it. And then I'm trimming it up. So see down at the bottom of the envelope, it is not a complete page. And then here is another mistake that I made. This is a digital scrapbook paper, and I'm just going to put some glue stick on half of it and fold it in half. And I use my ruler to squeegee the glue to make sure that it's spread as evenly as possible. So here I'm just checking the fit, and I'm trimming off that white border. And flipping it over because it's a little bit longer than it needs to be, so I'm trimming that off. And that was when I flipped it over, that was the mistake. Because this page is going to get glued down. And I don't think I realized it at first. It took me a minute to realize, but I glued it down and it's upside down. Thankfully, it's a page that I can kind of cover and it won't be so noticeable, but I know it. So, and again, I'm doing all of this and I didn't notice. I'm going in, adding glue to my packing paper to make sure that's down. Here's where I'm going to fix where I made the mistake with the envelope and didn't fill in the bottom to make a complete page. So I'm using this scrapbook paper to fill that in, and I still make even a mistake because I don't wrap it around, but I'll fix that as well. These mistakes, they aren't huge mistakes. They weren't enough to make me stop working on it. So it's just things that it's a learning process. I'd never done it before. So now these things I know to look out for the next time I do it. And kind of overcoming those mistakes is kind of some of the fun too. And I'm just flipping through. I think this is where I saw that um, I put that page in upside down. And I was just flipping through. It was like, did you really just do that? So, yep, I'm looking at it like, oh my gosh, can I take it off? No. Oh well, it's just gonna have to stay like that. Okay, so here we go with another piece of digital paper. And I'm just adding glue to one side and I'm gonna fold it over. This paper is like 20-pound paper. It's really thin, so that's why I'm doing it this way, to give it a little more weight and sturdiness. Squeegee the glue and trim off the white edges. I'm putting down another envelope and just trimming that up. And I'm checking because also once you get going, if it's a little wonky, the spine area is gonna the pages will bump into each other. So I was checking that, and here I'm finally fixing where the pages didn't connect like they were supposed to, where I put that envelope on. So I'm using a piece of washi tape with a little glue stick to put those two pages together. And again, I'm out of frame. Sorry about that. Here's another piece of digital paper, trimming off the edges. So I added that piece to the envelope. And here I'm going to trim it up using the tear ruler. Making sure everything is lined up and folded properly. Then I'm trimming off the excess here. And I'm using a misprint that is coffee stained or tea stained. This is a misprint planner insert. So it's going to be a short page because it wasn't wide enough. And I just thought it looked cool this way. Again, I'm going to make another mistake, but it'll be okay. So I'm just going to trim off some of the excess here. I didn't want the year showing, so I'm going to trim that part off. And here I'm going to add the next page, which was that scrapbook paper that I glued together prior. Now here I opened this up like I was supposed to add the piece at the bottom. That is how that should have been added. And I'm just measuring to see how much I need to tear off. I'm tearing it to fit. Now, what I didn't do when I went back to add it to the journal, I didn't open it up to add it to both sides. So I didn't open it all the way up, and then I trimmed off the piece. So again, I'm going to have a page that doesn't connect to the page behind it, only to the page in front of it, if that makes sense. So I'll have to fix that as well. So here I'm just flipping through, seeing what everything looks like. So this is the final flip through of what we've got after I've made changes. So this is the first direction. You can see I've added some washi tape to reinforce some things. Then this is the other direction. And that is my accordion journal. And I'm so looking forward to working in this. Again, if you're interested in seeing what I do with it, let me know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that gray bell so that you'll receive notification each time I upload a new video. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.